Save.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:30. Additions, deletions to the agenda. I have a couple. Anyone have? I see there's VLCT sponsored cannabis regulation webinar. That's an announcement.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, so
Does anybody want to attend, basically?
What day of the week is that?
The 24th, so the 21st is Saturday. So maybe Tuesday.
Tuesday, 10 to noon via Zoom.
Not me. Sorry.
You interested?
Not really. I mean, is this just to see if,
Well, this came up, I mean, I think someone should go. You interested?
That's one of the additions. Do you really want to talk about it right now?
Yeah.
Well, if we can make a quick decision, that's one less thing.
Yeah.
But
it's just, we could be out of here before midnight tonight.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay,
Wouldn't mind going.
well
I
then
wouldn't mind going.
let's put that in the parking lot and when we do get to it, that's good. A good
Okay,
start.
because I have something to bring up regarding cannabis as well. So
Okay. So the additions I have is website development. And under equity committee, signs for municipal, the welcome, all our welcome signs for our welcome. So on our town signs as well as
Oh,
town
gotcha.
garage. So we'll need to make a decision about that. And any other thoughts? Jen, do you have anything you want to put on the agenda?
Well, I didn't know if I should put it on the agenda or do a public comment. It's in regard to wake boats.
Sorry, regard to what?
It's in regard to a letter of support from the board for the wake boat regulation.
Wake boat. Oh,
We've
okay.
been hashed this out a number of times.
Well, we'll give you public comment.
Okay,
We'll give you public comment. So,
At the end,
yeah. So I need a motion to approve the April 28th meeting minutes.
so moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, ayes have it, motion carries. We have a road update.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Mike started Monday paving Shadow Lake Road and they have since finished that. And they have also paid the first 400 feet on Parent Hill. That and we're just out grading every chance we get. And we got the chloride tank going, so chloride's going that as well.
When are they gonna do the shoulder work on Parent
About a
Hill?
month out.
About a month out?
Yeah, so I think what Norm had said is, I think you're planning on paving the interstate, doing that, and then doing the shoulders for us.
Do you think we should put some sort of signage that says like
He put low shoulders.
low shoulders? Okay,
Yeah, he's got low shoulder signs up, and there's one place on Shadow Lake Road we're gonna have to go through, we might have to rent a mini excavator. You got a little far to the edge, and there's not really any shoulder left, so we'll have to dump some material and stone in there, build it up, so we can have a place to put a shoulder there.
yeah, okay.
But he's got cones up there, and there's low shoulder signs up there.
So you think the state's gonna be happy with taking that weight off the bridge and how that all worked out?
Yeah, we took I don't know if you looked at it after, took at least 16 inches off the Route 16.
Right, yeah.
We took a lot of material.
You know, that, remember Harry was talking to us about the bridge was too heavy and the state wanted us to lighten the load, so.
And actually, the last bridge inspection that we had, I think it's 2019, didn't say anything about that. It was
Yeah.
the one before that.
Well, I
I think it
think,
depends on who's doing it.
yeah, probably who the engineer is.
No, there's only 2.5 inches of pavement. Well, we took off 16 inches of material. They're off the side of 16. But there's still all material there. But
Nice, good work. So now we're gonna need to buy gravel, right? I mean, we've probably got 5 years worth of 6 years, 7 years worth of gravel, depends.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on where everyone's dug around there, ball field to see where that exactly runs out. But if we could get 5-6 acres from Greensboro, that could help.
So just for clarification, we're already getting gravel from Greensboro.
No, we're
correct?
getting,
We
no,
have our own pit.
We have
Our pit borders the property.
we should have, what we should have done before, when they bought that, however many years ago, the town should have bought it.
Yeah.
So I remember there was a discussion 3 or 4 years ago where, and I remember Jack said that Greensboro was not interested in.
They weren't.
selling.
That's what Peter Omans had said, and he said he wasn't sure why, but he seemed like he was all for it.
Okay. All right.
My,
So,
my guess is we're probably gonna be looking at maybe $100,000 for 6 acres, which, so like this, last week I talked to Harvey, just a load of sand that we were trucking from Barton. It was like $12 a load. Fuel is like going through the roof, and I think that's why Greensboro's trucking
Oh, it's gotta be terrible.
all their gravel stuff, all the way from my road where the pit is, all the way back up into Greensboro Village. My guess is they just didn't sell some of that and try to get something closer.
Well, that, and like I said, I think they're planning on building a new garage next year.
Right.
So
yeah, they are.
any money,
They like our garage.
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
So here's what I would hope we could do, given that this wasn't budgeted, is to, once we get an idea from Greensboro as to what they're asking, if they're serious, and we get a figure, then we do a comparison of how much is it gonna cost us over X amount of years doing what we're doing now, and how long is that gonna last
Mhm.
versus having, what does it mean to have the additional? Is that something we could do?
it's a security thing. We're gonna run out of
Yeah.
gravel.
I mean, we've been crushing 10,000 yards of gravel, I don't know how long gravel that's been going, but 10,000 yards a year. Doesn't take long to eat it up.
To have a pit that's already existing and already opened and already working is huge advantage,
And that, the face that borders their property is, it's the tallest face
right?
in the pit, that's the most gravel.
Okay, I'm still a little thick. So we're bordering, the land that we're bordering with Greensboro, it's not where our current. pit
Yes.
is. So Greensboro has a pit in our,
Greensboro's
Pear
pit
Road.
is if you drive up my road, Pear School
Yeah.
Road, drive up there, there's a left-hand turn, like 100 yards, 200 yards up the road. And there's a gate there, and you go in, and then you go to their pit, and you look up, and their wall is here, going this way. And you go into our pit, and our wall's on the other side. It's literally like this.
Yeah.
They're here, and
Okay.
we're
And
here.
they're not even going towards us right now, they're going
They're going up.
up the road.
Up to that, yeah. So, I mean, even if we say we found that we could buy some land somewhere else, you got all that overburden, you got all that stuff you gotta do to open up a pit. Now, all we would do if we were able to buy this, was just be continuing our pit that we already got.
My thought is that chunk of land that goes around that house on 16, so I believe that chunk of land that, they won't ever do anything with it. So if they could split it off to us, I think it'd make a lot more sense.
Mhm.
whether or not they would or not.
wow, and all that work we did trying to look at boring the land, what was it?
On Riendo's pit,
Riendeau.
Yeah.
which was a no-go.
Yeah,
And right where our high wall borders Greensboro, there's 2 to 3 foot of overburden, so it wouldn't take long to strip that out.
all right, I'll make contact with Peter, and then if you're amenable, and Leanne, you're certainly welcome too. We can set up, but chances, well, we'll see if we can do a late afternoon meeting or something.
At the gravel pit, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and to get a sense of what do they think they're gonna be asking.
Yeah,
When are you anticipating this will be set up by?
Don't know.
I talked with Peter, he wants to have another select board member with him when he meets,
Uh-huh.
just so. there's
Yeah.
someone else.
With him, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is just, I mean, I wanna, carry my weight, but as a school teacher, the May and June are like slammed for us. Like, this is what my calendar looks like right now.
Yeah,
So I don't wanna hold you guys up by trying to make
Do
it-
you,
No, I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
we weren't excluding you from this very
Okay.
pertinent discussion
be
about
part of the
gravel.
team.
So,
that should be part of the team.
so yeah.
Do you
besi-
want, you want us, you want to contact Peter or do you want him to do it or?
I've already kind of been in contact with them.
Well, if you want to get from him some times,
So I asked him and he said he's he's free, I think, pretty much whenever, he's gotta figure out when another member can be with them. And then whenever it's good time.
yeah, so,
I don't
So I
know.
mean, I think it'd almost be better if you would get a hold of them that way,
Yeah.
because I don't know your schedule.
yeah, why don't I know you're not good for Wednesdays.
Yeah, Monday and Wednesday. Other than that, I'm,
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, I could do a late Monday. Like
Monday.
after 4 or something, but
okay.
Monday and
So
Wednesdays are not great, but
All
other
right.
than that, I'm.
I'll set up something and, I don't know, Mike, do you want to be part of that conversation?
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you know what we're trying to buy.
No, I mean, you should be there anyway.
Okay. All right, we good for the road update?
Question. Seal crack, oh, blah, blah, blah. Road crack sealing? There gonna be any done this year?
I don't think we budgeted anything for that this year. No.
I think I saw something in the.
Well,
maybe-
I'm not 100% sure and I didn't bring my little book here with me, but
Okay,
why, what are you worried about? What's?
the original portion of Bean Hill that was done. That was surface runoff.
Down below Terrace in the corner there.
You know, from
Oh,
Terra,
the original.
no,
Oh,
Terra
yeah.
going to West Glover and actually below Terra because that's cracking too.
Yeah,
More-
that's kind of.
Pretty much from Bean Hill, not Bean,
Borland Road.
Moreland Road, all the way up through.
I don't think the original part's too bad, but, when they paved Bean Hill, the corner before Terrace going up, there's that corner there's big cracks there, and they just did a top, did a.
The skim coat or.
Inch shim or whatever.
Yeah, around my house there's some big cracks and from what I understood, once it gets to about an inch, they gotta regrind it before they put stuff down.
So, last year when they did county road, they went through and they ground the cracks.
Right.
We were repaving now at that point because we were. gonna
Yeah,
repave.
we were gonna do an overlay. And he was thinking that that's gonna hold up better in the long.
Well, do you know if we budgeted anything in that? I don't know. I really, at this point, there's no plans, but
Yeah, I don't, so we can look into
We can
that.
take a look at
I
it,
don't want
see
to
what's
take time right now.
Yeah.
It's not overwhelming, but there are parts
Yeah.
on Bean Hill Road that's got lots of cracks and they're getting bigger. And once you have a crack, and
Right.
now we're salting. During the winter, it just makes it. Freezes.
okay, well, good note, so noted, Dan, thank you.
Okay, why don't we go do this cannabis discussion? There's a workshop Tuesday, May 24th, 10 to noon. I think it's for what Vermont municipal officials need to know about regulating cannabis. This question came up a couple weeks ago because the people who bought the woman, the lady that bought the Runaway Cafe, there was some thought that she was gonna be dispensing cannabis, which is not what she's doing, which is very closely related to that. In any event, it made me think, we probably should get a little more up to speed on it. And you said you had something.
Well, no, that was it. So I had a concerned citizen come to me. That was in fact what she was doing, that there was an article in 7
Right.
days, and he showed me the article, and she did say that she was doing it, so I'm just curious, where is your information coming from?
I went to
She's
her.
not-
And she told me what her business is, and she's not.
Isn't she working with, what's the kids that are addicts?
She has an addiction program.
Right, which is all part of that one is,
Yeah,
Okay, so she seems to be telling 7 days something different than what she's telling
we
you.
can't, with 7 days reports, we can't. I mean, we go to the source. And besides, I think she'd have to, if she doesn't, we don't have, and she knows very well. I told her, I said, of course, if you did want to do this, you need to get approval. She said, absolutely. That's not what we're doing,
Okay,
so.
well, it's curious why she would
There's-
tell a statewide newspaper that she's doing something.
There's a thing
different.
on Facebook that what she was doing was she was trying to, trying to create an environment for people that were struggling with addiction and whatnot, that could, where they could go and feel welcome. And there's been 2 or 3 get-togethers there where they've got like food vendors set up and there's like no alcohol, no hard drugs. I think there is, did say there was marijuana was allowed. But that was what her, according to Facebook, that was what her thing was. She was trying to help these people.
There's 3 entities there, I think. 2 of which relate to managing addiction, and then there's some other, I don't know. It's she gave me the spiel, I believed her. I don't think there's any reason to believe that she would be silly enough to be dispensing pot
Right.
based on what she said. I know, whatever is reported, sometimes things get skewed in the reporting. I don't know, So Cindy, would you be interested in being sort of the
Get more information.
lead person on cannabis
Is this a
regulation?
Zoom thing? Is this via Zoom? or-
Yeah,
Webinar, yes.
Just don't inhale.
I play guitar with Jimmy and Bill
Yeah.
Tester on Tuesday morning, so.
Okay, well, if I'm around, I'll click into it, see what's going on.
I have a feeling that my boss would not want me to take time off to attend that during the school day. so.
Oh, come on.
Unless you could, well, yeah, it'd be
If it's
hard to
being-
tie to some school kind of a theme.
If it's being
Yeah.
recorded, you can always tap into it.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but we'll see.
and then you could share that, and then we could actually put it on the website too,
Yeah.
if it's recorded
okay.
for people. So, do you want this?
Yeah.
Do
Thank
we
you.
know, have we heard from anyone that is going to want us to take a statewide, I mean, a townwide vote at any point on this? Like someone who wants to,
I haven't heard anything.
I was-
I'm sure it will come up eventually.
Well, we got Barton, once they get opened up, that'll probably start a little bit of a ripple.
And I think Hardwick is headed there.
I haven't heard anything of anybody at this point, but not sure I did the meeting.
Okay, sheriff's report, nothing that I saw was too extraordinary. I don't think we need to move to accept the report. It's just for review. And why don't we move down to public comment before we get to ARPA? Jen, you want to provide some commentary?
Sure, thank you. I'm here in regards to wake boats. And Brenda and I, Brenda Plastridge from Lake Parker and I have been in communication, and both Shadow and Parker have sent letters of support for regulation of wake boats on those bodies of water. I have sent you several things in regards to information and about wake boats. And I also sent you a sample letter of support. And I was wondering, and Brenda was wondering, if after gathering information that you have, if you would be willing to prepare and sign a letter of support in regards to asking the state to please make some wake boat regulations.
I don't recall the sample letters. Cindy, did you
I
get?
haven't received anything
I'm
either.
not recalling anything either.
I can resend that to you.
So this is going to go to the, which department are you sending these?
This is going to the Department of Environmental Conservation.
Okay,
And Brenda, and if you choose to send a letter of support, Brenda and I will take care of the footwork, because it doesn't go directly to Julie Moore. it has to be put in a file, so it can be reviewed when the board that does the reviewing looks at it. So because it's a petition to the state to please regulate wake boats, it has to go through all kinds of hurdles. And one of the hurdles is that there's going to be, I forget the name of the group that has to look at it, as well as Julie Moore. But the letters don't go directly to her because there'd be too many letters going to her. And so they get accumulated somewhere else.
So do you have any sense that this is on the radar of environmental, of the Department of Environmental?
There are going to be 2 public hearings that have been scheduled already in June. And they're hoping to make a ruling about this for the state in July or August.
Because I've heard nothing in the media. I've heard no concerns about, mainly because our lakes are pretty small.
Right.
Well, that's
A lot of water.
That's exactly part of the reason that Brenda and I are concerned, is that if we do have wake boats on our small lakes and ponds, there's going to be significant erosion of shoreline. Also, public safety would be at risk due to the enormous size of the wake.
Yeah, my only point is, what I know of wake boats is it takes an awful lot of power and speed to get to the wakeage, if you will. And small lakes don't have that. I could see it be a concern on Champlain or Memphremagog, but I haven't heard of any wake boats on any of those lakes.
There was a wake boat on Shadow last summer. It was a visiting boat, and it was pretty disastrous for our boat and our dock, as they drive rather slowly to create the giant wave that they make behind the boat. And when they drove by our camp, I was sitting out or standing out on the dock, and I asked them to please shove off. You know, I was waving my arms, and they waved back to me, and the size of the wave lifted me and our dock up off the ground and caused our boat to go underneath our dock and get smushed. I mean, it crashed into the gunnel. So we don't see wake boats on our lakes yet, but this petition is asking the state to please make some rules in regards to small lakes and ponds and shallow lakes and ponds, because they just can't take that type of boat.
So, I mean, we're okay with, so please, we're sorry we don't seem to have what you sent, but if you could resend it, we'll certainly keep track of it and look at it and bring it up.
Okay.
My only other question would be, since this is one petition from 2 lake associations.
No, this is a petition that is statewide from
Oh,
many lakes in Vermont. It's not only Shadow and Parker who are in support of this. There are many lakes in Vermont that have signed on to this petition.
And if you could include those 2, so we have a sense of how large is the support that we're going to be potentially providing.
Well, it will be the DEC who makes the decision, but there are many people who are in support of this. Not many people, many lakes and ponds, as well as people.
Right, so that's good that I know that there's about 30 lake associations in the state, maybe?
Yep.
And if all of them, if the majority of them are also signing on, that's a more likelihood that there's a real problem, according by what the DEC says, or sees. So it's just good to know that. So, okay,
Yeah, it's also on the website. The petition is on the DEC's website, and also the dates for the public hearings are also on that website.
okay,
All right.
all right, we'll follow up. and we'll-
Thank you.
we'll-
I'll send that
Well-
letter of support to you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Okay. Next, we have ARPA update, which sort of blends in reviewing of adding board members. Also, we want to continue the discussion in line with adding board members about how do we proceed with a town administrator. So I did share with you the response from VLCT.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, can you see this from remote?
I cannot, I see you.
You have
Okay,
to-
I have to share it. Yeah.
But
Okay,
I have to say, it's very impressive what you have here in front of me as a remote watcher. It's really fabulous.
well, thank you. Yeah, it's been worth the work. I'm not gonna share this now unless you really want to see it, but you can listen. So
I mean, it's easy
Yeah.
enough to do. Do you want me to show you how to do it?
I know how to, yeah,
Okay.
I just,
Just a
okay.
button.
It's,
Yeah.
it looks to me like it's,
Pretty much you gotta have a special meeting or a town meeting
I mean, it's a
and everyone
busy,
votes on it.
and you
Yes,
know, I guess one thing I've been thinking about is, we're having a hard enough time fielding three.
I know. Yeah. I think it might be, would you think it'd be something that we would consider for our annual town meeting?
Yes, absolutely. I think that would be a wise decision.
So we wouldn't actually add anyone then until March?
Well, have you gone over this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you've got to warn it, you got to do a special meeting.
Mhm.
I think we'd probably get a lot more involvement if we did it at town meeting,
Right.
I
I guess I'm just worried that doesn't really help too much with the ARPA problems if we're
No.
gonna wait till March to take care
Well,
of that.
So the other, I mean, we can go back to what we discussed as far as options and look at possibly revisiting adding advertising for an actual position.
Mhm.
We have a job description, we have requirements. The question is, how comfortable are we advertising if we don't quite find the right candidate? Then we're back to square one, but that's still an option. The other option was me to step down and advertise and apply for it.
Mhm.
That still means we gotta replace a board member.
So. I think we definitely should bring this up for town consideration. We can do it before, but I'm wondering if this summer, what kind of response we'll get,
Like, you're not sure if the town would be in support of it?
I don't know, it's not so much whether they'd be in support, but I just don't think anybody would care. I just don't think it would like be on people's radars that much.
Yeah, people's radar is based on their taxes, not on how many board members.
But it's like, I mean. I
I'm more
think,
concerned that I'm not sure we can find two other people.
yeah, that's the other bit. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, okay, so, option one, you step down, okay, so then we can now try to find somebody else. It's, I mean.
Well, the thing is, you could tap someone to appoint for one more. If I were to resign in 2 weeks, you could find someone and then appoint that person for a finite time, and then they'd have to run again at the town meeting.
But you have to find somebody that wants to do it.
I'm not saying this in support of Brian stepping down, but just is relevant to this conversation. I think that will not be as difficult as you think.
Yeah.
There's at least one person that may be interested.
Well,
Okay.
But I'm not saying that like to push you to. go
No,
with it.
I'm into solving the problem right now.
Right.
I am flexible. I just can't keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And just, I'm not getting a good balance of income to do this.
No. No, I understand that.
So do you, I guess that's a harder question to ask. Do we know of anyone who might be interested in 10 to 15 hours a week managing the business of the town?
Would would that be maybe something we could try? I mean, I don't
I
want
mean,
to
put
put an
a,
ad out and see if we get any response. Then if we get no response,
I
period,
could put something on Front Porch Forum.
then we go say, this is probably how it's gonna have to work. And then you can step down and then we'll try to find somebody else.
I'm sorry. Were you saying recruit someone to be a town manager or, okay,
Yeah.
I think we're more likely to get someone to do that if we combine it with the recycling coordinator position, which was also 10 to 15 hours, and make it a 30-hour position.
See,
I think
I'm
the
not sure
problem-
that, I'm not sure the recycling coordinator needs to be, the actual coordinator doesn't put in 10 to 15 hours. That's more like 2 to 4 hours. As the coordinator and as the attending the meetings, so that could be part of the town manager role, but it would be a smaller role than 10 to 15 hours.
Okay, well, then I
Yeah.
think that that's gonna be really hard, because I think the problem is that nobody's looking for that small of a chunk of
Right.
employment.
Yeah.
Except me.
Unless they were retired.
Right, I know, here we are back to overusing our retired population.
Yeah.
It would be if I wasn't doing other things, I'd like jump on this. But I know a little bit about it. So
I mean,
as far as,
how strongly do you, I guess, Buzz, right now, how strongly do you feel about, I mean, how much do you want to do that? Do you want that position? Is that, would you, if you could say, okay, I'm just gonna keep on doing the select board and we're gonna find somebody to do that, to take the weight off you and some of the weight off Cindy and Jessica, or you step down and you take that position? I mean, I guess a lot of it kind of depends on you. I mean, what's your preference? Do you have I mean, you must have one.
I go back and I'm waffling because part of me wakes up in the morning and says, it would be nice just to be an administrator
Mhm.
for a finite amount of time a week, get some compensation, support the board.
Mhm.
Then part of me says, I'm not sure I want to be committed 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I'm into solving the problem. Maybe we can just continue limping along as we have been. Part of the things I've been thinking about is maybe I've been trying to push things too quickly and maybe we just need to slow down.
Here's
No
a-
one,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to interrupt. I thought you were paused.
Yeah,
I think one other sort of thing to think about is you are the next person up for election, right?
yes.
So if you did go that route and did the town administrator and got replaced, like it's really less than a year. It's like half a year at this point, 6 months. And if you decided that was not the right move in 6 months, you could run again. And if the person we appointed or that ran wanted to run again, maybe you'd run against them, try and get your job back. But like, it's really not that long.
I know, and that's the conversation we had with Katie Buckley where it intrigued me because she said very casually, well, Brian, you could just sit down and do the job for a finite period of time. And then, you kind of said, yeah, that's an idea. So I would probably prefer, to me, it would be more efficient. And if Leanne is right, if you guys agree on an appointment, it would be more efficient to have me resign, take over ARPA recycling web. The recycling, I mean, when I talk to Jack, unless you're working there, it's not any more than a couple hours a week.
Mhm.
And I don't think, and yeah, I wouldn't want it to go over. I'd like to keep it between 10 and 15, like 12 hours a week personally. And I think that I can be efficient. So I guess I would be leaning towards, when I think of all the options, that it would be to resign and apply and go for that position.
I do think you'd be the best at it of any person we could get.
Yes, Cindy.
what you said concerned me as far as the recycling coordinator position.
Yeah,
If you resign and become the ARPA coordinator and the recycling coordinator, and then come town meeting day, you want to be back on the board and not be the ARPA coordinator and the town and the recycling coordinator, what's gonna happen with that town recycling coordinator position?
well, that's a good question.
Say nothing about the ARPA. Because you could try to, I mean, would you have any intention of running next year if this was all a wash? They were just,
My goal would be, if I were to be town manager, there's a lot of building and building of relationships and communication, and the web would be part of that. I've already gotten my conversation with Jethro. So in my mind, if for the first 6 months, it would be to just, yes, focus on ARPA, but also look at how do we increase our grant revenue streams. How do we communicate better in terms of all the, the planning commission and equity committee and, it's just, and looking at NVDA, how can we best use the resources of NVDA as well as VLCT?
no, but my question was, if none of this was happening, come March, would you run again, is one of my questions.
Like if you stayed on select board right now. until
Right,
March?
his term is up in this year.
Yeah,
I see.
Would you run again, or would you just step down?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Sounds like a two-week, turn it down 2 more weeks.
So, I mean, I don't really know. It could go, the 2 options would be, wow, I really like this town manager position. I'm making a difference and I'm not killing myself doing it. Or it might be, man, this is more than I thought. I'm gonna go back to being an elected official. I don't, so
I think given that amount of time too, might be enough if you kind of were starting to get to know towards the winter, which way you were leaning to drum up interest. It gives us more time, it
Yeah.
buys us more time. And that's something we could talk about at town meeting as well, like Brian doesn't want to continue in this role. Come on, we've got 100 people in front of us, someone needs to do this, like.
yeah. The other thing is, I'm thinking about Greensboro, I have gotten to know a little bit of the board over there, but if I was a town administrator, I could make contact representing the town and, go to a board meeting occasionally and just, look at how we can share our gravel stuff, or as well as, we talked a little bit about sharing an administrator. I talked to them about, but, so I mean, right now, we're not hurting. I think we're probably ahead of the curve compared to all other towns. Like I said, maybe I just got a little bit too rambunctious about this, thinking we gotta organize for this. I would still be committed to making ARPA work, but it's not gonna work as efficiently if we piecemeal it between ourselves. And I took the lead early and, it's a little daunting.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think you're wrong to feel the pressure. I think we need to really start getting serious about what we want to do and how this can work for the town. I know people are starting to express interest in not knowing what to do with that interest, and I feel those concerns.
Question, have we asked other towns if they have a person, then maybe we could get, they'd probably Albany wouldn't need more than 10, 15 hours. We could get another 10, 15 hours from that same person, what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I've done a little cursory research. I've also talked to VLCT about what, I've asked them, so how are towns dealing with administrators? And, their data show that towns are looking for people, that small boards are overwhelmed. 3-member boards are overwhelmed. And a lot of towns our size have an administrator or a manager. And I just think, the culture in Glover has been, let's keep things simple. And I appreciate that as a resident, but I think those days, that ship has sailed, you know? We got stuff happening and we gotta take advantage of it. We're able to do this with ARPA money right now, just, we didn't budget for this.
Yeah, speaking of which, do you want to make it so that people can, I assume,
Jen, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what do you want to do tonight with this, I guess, is,
Oh, I want you guys to decide for me. What do you want?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Lynn, do you know somebody who, a potential person who might
I
like to
do.
be on the board?
I do.
Hmm.
But I don't want to say it in a way that makes
Yeah.
Brian feel like I'm trying to manipulate a situation. to get you
No, it's a good idea not to mention it in a recorded session.
I won't mention this person's name.
But believe me, if you want to whisper in my ear, I would not be hurt. So if it's the consensus between the two of you that that's our best option, I will submit my resignation, my 2-week resignation.
How do you personally feel about, I mean, I guess you just told us how you personally feel. I'm a little sad to say like, oh yeah, I support that, and have you think I don't support you staying on. Like that feels
No,
weird.
seriously.
I will seriously say that's not my first choice, but
Okay.
and I'm not, no, that's just, I'm being selfish about it. I think that I think we got a lot going on. I think we're gonna get a full-time job, and I think I'm gonna be feeling a lot like you are in about 2 months.
But keep in mind, though, if this were to happen, the position that we're talking
Right.
about would take some of that,
Yeah.
so this position would go do a little bit of legwork to talk to Greensboro and go look at recycling and, and maybe we keep Jack on, but as a consultant, I don't know,
Jack wants out. He's over the 4 Cs and
But
I don't
he's
know what
also
he's
a
do-
good source of information.
what's that?
But he's also a very.
Oh,
good
yeah, and
source
he,
of
if you
information.
called him, and asked him something, he'd certainly be more than willing, but
I figured
he's grouchy
On a
enough,
week-to-week-
he's at his end.
on a week-to-week basis, there's probably an hour and a half a week that needs to be attended to around what things that might happen at the recycling center and communicating with the waste district. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I-
I think he kind of just stops there and checks on things, and I think some of the attendants call him to say if the steel dumpster's full or whatever.
Yeah, and having a relationship with the waste district helps answer those in terms of what the fees are and such. And I'm not thrilled about this, but I don't know who else is going to do this. And if we have someone who's at least in the office that we know,
I hear your concerns, Dave, but I do think this makes sense. I can't imagine anyone but Brian, who's already put in so much legwork, doing this work. And I do think that we need to get this work done and get the ball rolling on this.
it's a little stressful to think about. Yeah, thank you for that vote of confidence. And I hear you, Dave, in terms of, how the board makeup has been helpful and we have been working pretty well as a team. I'm not sure that still can't happen. It means this role would be coming to you and saying, what would you like me to do? How would you like me to communicate? What is the sentiment of the
You
board?
get to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
He says
Which-
it's gonna be me.
Which is an attractive option for me. I wouldn't mind just having someone tell me what to do, instead of me having to decide, what do I have to do?
You get to be the chair again.
All right, anyway, do we need to make a decision tonight, or
So there was one, you brought up a suggestion about putting feelers out to see if anyone had any interest. I foresee a succinct announcement on Facebook forum, maybe Facebook, saying Glover is considering hiring a town administrator, part-time, 12 hours a week.
Mhm.
If you are interested, contact blank.
Do you want to put it in the Caledonia account?
It's expensive and I'm not sure we're gonna get, I don't know, I don't know. I just know that we get responses from social media
Yeah.
around these things.
You know,
What do you
and I think I think you would do a great job too. I'm just wondering if, just another option, I have no doubt about your capabilities of doing that, I want.
Part of me would like to, I wouldn't mind having, if we had someone that fit the bill, that's, and I think Leanne,
Well, you want to
So-
shoot something out for 2 weeks, and then if we get absolutely nothing by our next meeting, then I'll cave and we'll make a decision.
sure,
I'm worried, so, okay, I mean, I guess that means in a month, we would have someone in this position, because if we decided the next and you gave your 2 weeks notice, we would then appoint someone potentially. It does, yeah, I guess I'm worried that having watched the way the whole recycling coordinator thing goes, we're just gonna be delaying the inevitable and it's gonna go. this
I'm
route.
gonna be straight up freaking honest with you. Recycling thing is not even in my wheelhouse.
No.
That's not, I mean, yeah, we gotta deal with that.
The
But
reason-
Jack's gonna look along with that as long as he has
The
to.
reason I brought that up, though, what I mean is that having watched the way that that worked, I kind of have my doubts that it's gonna be any different with this other position, and that all we're really gonna do is delay making a decision for a few weeks while we realize no one's
Well,
gonna apply.
my 97.865% of my focus is on the ARPA thing, and the recycling committee would just kind of.
Right, no, I hear you. What I'm saying, this has nothing to do with the recycling committee. What I'm saying is that having watched the way that happened,
Mhm.
I think that the same thing is going to happen with the ARPA position, and that all we're gonna do is put off for 2
I think,
weeks being able to move
no,
forward.
you're saying in terms of not finding someone.
I think the part-time town administration job is a hell of a lot more enticing than a recycling coordinator for 4 hours a week. Yes, I do. I really do.
Plus, I mean, we're talking, we're not gonna advertise this, but I think it's gonna be $20 an hour. I mean, unless, to me, it's either that or it's not worth it in terms of qualifications.
I think that might be problematic as well, to advertise it for $20 an hour.
I'm not saying advertise, but I'm saying,
Or to even to make it $20 an hour without tying up other loose ends, other places. I mean, there are other people who've worked for the town a whole lot longer that are not making $20 an hour. And I think that will come up.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yes. So I don't think we can do that.
Well, you gotta also remember the concept that people that are in a position that requires a lot more brain work usually get paid more than people that do.
I've said from the beginning, I don't think we need someone that we have to supervise. It's gotta be, if it's not me, it's gotta be a self-starter who understands municipalities, doesn't need to be told about what VLCT does, who the contacts, how to communicate, what NVDA does,
Well, I
how
think,
to best get, use of information.
Right, but we have people that are using that much brain power in that autonomous who are not making $20 an hour.
my suggestion is just throw it on the website for 2 weeks and see if we get any bites. And if we don't, and then we can, I mean, if we decide next week and you give me 2 weeks, 2 weeks is for the, it's done, you're done. So then we just gotta, then you'll have to show up for 15 minutes and we'll have to figure out, we'll have to elect new officers, so.
I do want to revisit, so in my mind, the wage is pretty much what it's gonna be, or else, like I said before, I don't want, we're not gonna be able to find someone. I'm not gonna want to work for that. We're talking a small amount of hours a week. And so I'd be hard pressed to even consider it if that's not what's been agreed upon.
I think that then that's probably gonna be a different headache for us in a different area.
Well, it means we have to look at the big picture at some point. We've already established our human resource structures are misplaced and they haven't been dealt with. We just limp along year after year. That's part of the reason what an administrator can help in
Yeah.
terms of.
Well, you're gonna also look at someone that's working 15 hours a week, not getting any benefits generally. speaking.
Right.
No
Yeah, there's
health
no benefits.
None of that. That somebody that's working more than, what is it, 30 hours, 3 hours or more?
Yeah,
I mean, as far as, you know, the other positions within the town, they're not, I mean, I went through the town report, and most people are only working like 30, 40 hours a year, you know, which is, you know, if somebody's doing this for 15 hours a week, they're gonna be working 12 times that.
Mhm.
So that's gonna make a little difference. But I'm totally in agreement with it, and we need to, at some point, and we're getting off track here, I'm just saying.
well, but this does fall within, I believe, the town administrator.
Yeah,
It's like phase 3 of this position.
Yeah.
It has to be research presented to the board. If I were the town administrator, I'd come here with my data points as to how many towns, what do our towns across the state paying for similar positions based on their population? And that would drive the discussion for,
Yeah.
and how do towns plan on incremental raises?
Right.
Because that's what we haven't
and
done.
just, you know, what are the, yeah, you know, I mean, how everybody in this town gets paid is, like you say, it's kind of, it's all over the place. So we do need to
Mhm.
severely
Okay.
get into that,
I will put an ad in
but
the
let's
forum and Facebook.
just see what we get for everybody. I know Hardwick
Can I,
advertised for a town manager, and they had a lot of people advertised, they had a lot, but that was a full-time position too.
right,
And that's a, you know, a little bigger town, but
okay.
anyway.
All right, 2 weeks. Next up is Equity Committee update. I'll talk about the welcome signs. I read the minutes from their last meeting. It was a pretty good meeting. Did you read the minutes? Or were you there?
Did read the minutes. No, unfortunately, the last couple meetings have not worked for me at the time that they're scheduled for, so I've missed them, but I'm hoping to be able to get to the next one. I know that they're starting a book club. It's an anti-racist book, and that is really exciting. And there's the welcome signs, there's the welcome baskets that are getting compiled.
And, yeah. I picked up my book. I think it's a wonderful idea.
I haven't picked up my book yet.
So, and it's a good thing Mike is here. So Jethro approached me yesterday about taking all our welcome signs and attaching them to the 3 roadside welcome signs and also one for the town garage. And his idea was as 2 slats, 2 horizontal slats that would be attached to the post on the signs.
Below the existing sign.
Below the bicentennial age signs. So we're talking 4 signs, and I don't know if that's something that Mike and the crew can help with.
You
It's,
want signs on the welcome?
Underneath the
signs.
welcome signs.
yeah,
So, one on
You
16.
probably have to get some 1x2s.
So
there's the 2 on 16,
Yeah.
and then there's one in West Glover.
As you go down the hill up towards.
So would it only be,
Oh,
you would, and like in West Glover, do you only want to like going into West Glover? Or do you
Well, we
want-
don't have another sign.
Oh, okay.
That's what we would do if we looked at where should we have welcome signs?
Yeah.
Well, we probably should have one. I don't know, it's a debatable topic. There's not much traffic that comes from the other side of West Glover, but still makes sense to have a welcome sign, I guess. Stevens Road, should there be a welcome sign there? I don't know. I don't think so necessarily. It's not enough room. But right now we have four destinations. So
So where are you thinking of the end?
I'm sorry?
Where are you thinking at the town garage?
Well, that's a good question. I know if we were to put it on the corner and facing the road, or, it would be very small like, compared to the, but it might be symbolically good. We could put it going into the entrance, which would be good for people that are coming to visit or want to meet
The
with.
entrance to the garage?
Yeah,
Me personally, I'd rather not there, just because I feel like everyone should do open there, sort of the hazards that go on there. If someone gets hurt in there, I feel like it'd be up to town. I don't want that.
okay, so
You know what I mean?
you're saying, you're saying because of the intrinsic risk that may happen?
Yeah, I
There's
just,
a lot of heavy equipment out there.
that, and
Yeah.
yeah, just,
Well, I think most people realize, the whole thing is sort of symbolically saying that, we don't want people excluded. I realize the town
Yeah, yeah, I
garage is not a
understand
public
that.
place. But
so, have you been by the garage lately?
no,
So this winter, we dug an old V plow out of the, hasn't been used in a while, we painted it up. And we put it
oh,
up
the
front.
plot, yeah, I saw that,
So.
yeah.
I was thinking to have Jay Hudson, who does their stickers to the doors, I was thinking having him do something, maybe on the flat. Saying welcome to the town garage, or something like that.
Yeah, I did notice the cloud. I thought to myself, how long has that been there?
Yeah,
But
put it out this way.
Yeah,
Would it be better to put it on the recycling building? It's all kind of the same compound.
that's an idea.
Instead of
I
putting
think it
it-
looked better on there.
That's the
I
more,
mean,
Where are you gonna put it on the garage? There goes on the back.
well, and the
side.
public comes to that.
Comes to the
building.
recycling building a lot.
Okay,
Put it on the front of the recycling building.
yeah,
I mean, you still see it going by the road, and everybody that comes to recycle.
and everybody
is-
comes to recycling. I like that. Yeah.
There you go. I think that's fine.
So, okay, so we're in agreement. We'll have the 4 signs hung and
Are
Mike,
those little signs that you had that one
it's
day?
right out here.
They're
You
the, you can stick
wanna
them in
see
your
a
lawn. or
picture?
What's
whatever.
up?
You can stick them in your lawn and sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that's
can.
right.
They're like a thick plastic.
Yeah.
So you can drill screws into them, and if you have little strappings.
Yeah.
It would need a little bit of measuring and just attaching to the bottom of the road signs. And then, I don't know, is there there should be a place on the Quonset hut to hang something, right?
Well, even if you hook screw it right to the building, you could do like what we did at the town office,
Yeah,
and just put that right on the front of or like over the door maybe, or something like that. I mean, I would,
Okay.
I would
yeah,
like
we
that.
can, we can stop. Well,
And you just
we can
want,
look at
like,
that.
on the one coming in here, is just run it like a piece of 1x2 or something across.
Yeah.
And then screw it,
Just 2, one on the top and one on the bottom, and then just screw them onto the
because
post.
the sign's gonna be this wide, and the posts are, I think, are
Yeah, so they'll be over, so yeah.
just
they'll be-
center it. and-
Yeah,
Question. You may want to do 3 or 4, especially where the snowplow can get by. Otherwise, he knows what I'm talking about.
This one up here is up on the bank, and the one down here is out, and I think the other way.
Hopefully it'll be a while before the snowplow goes by too.
and hopefully we'll be replacing those signs at some point.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind doing that,
Are you still planning on replacing them?
Well, I think it's something we should budget for. I just think it's like our website is 10 years old and our signs are 46 years old or something. So,
If you want, I'll take Carol someday, and I'll hang those.
Okay.
That would give him something to do, and
sure,
how
excellent
about
idea.
that?
All
I
right,
was thinking about too, you said, do we need one coming from West Glover the other way? And yeah, I don't really think so, but you know where it might be good is going from Barton on Roaring Brook is the other place people come to West Glover. a
oh, there
lot.
isn't one there.
There's not one there. And to the,
There is a welcome to West Glover sign.
Not on Roaring Brook
no,
Road.
coming down from Bean Hill there is, but not coming from
Up there.
Roaring
I think
Brook.
there is.
There is.
Is there? Okay.
There is. I
then-
go-
Well, then we need 5 signs.
Okay, then we should
Okay.
put one there too.
So-
So those are the 2 places people enter West Glover from.
So why don't I ask Jethro to give you the 5 signs? Yeah, I kept thinking, I thought that was.
I thought
another
that's
sign.
what you were talking about.
I know, I drive up Roaring Brook
I guess I
Road
never
twice a
noticed
day and I
that.
don't even know
I only,
I didn't-
I go
didn't-
Roaring Brook Road.
Go right there, almost never.
that.
Well, Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I can, right now, Carl is.
That's a great idea, use Carl.
Use Carl.
Hopefully they'll be well received on the welcome signs. I was actually a little surprised at there was a little bit of displeasure on the Facebook page. I
I
don't
saw
know if you
that.
noticed.
there was, but out of the 54 responses,
Oh, it was
three-
definitely the minority,
3 had smiley faces making fun of it.
but yeah, and
Which I
there
think is
were-
pretty good.
There were a couple of salty comments. I guess I just wasn't expecting there to be any salty comments.
Oh, there
It took
always
me
will
by
be.
surprise.
I was expecting a lot, I was
It's that
expecting more,
1% that always is out there.
because, yeah,
I didn't see it as
I
objectionable.
thought people, then there was the comment about, well, I thought we already did welcome people.
That was sarcastic.
Yeah, well, no, I think people actually believe, why should we have these signs? We're all perfectly accepting of everyone. I think they believe that.
Well, that's what I kind of mean by sarcastic.
I
Well,
think
but I
you're
think-
That's
getting,
not in the
you're getting the
spirit
same
of
thing
that.
like with the Black Lives Matter.
It's
Signs,
all
people like
lives
everybody's
matter.
matter, so
Yeah.
why are we
Yeah.
just, I think
Right,
that's. probably
they're
the-
questioning everything, yeah.
But that's an anti-equity sentiment.
That's right.
Okay, so,
Anyway.
I'll let Jethro know for 5 signs.
Yeah, just tell them to let me know, I can pick them up, sometime.
Oh, yeah, and yeah.
Or whatever, he can drop them off at the house, but I got dogs, I don't know if he wants to deal with that. but-
Okay, and let's move on to website.
My favorite thing.
So I met with Jethro and Jessica yesterday and I shared with you, so we talked about the challenges of getting things posted on the website. And there's the organizational challenge about where do we put it? Does it make sense to put it here? And so we came up with, to deal with the management of it, that Cindy would be, for the select board business, Cindy would be the primary contact to submit to Jethro for uploads, and then he would upload to the website. And for all the other committees and other town business, that would go to Jessica. And so that was a good decision because that means we have a consistent system. We then talked about the problem with the layout. And as he said, the theme, as it's called, which is how the website is organized and how it interfaces with the public, is around 12 years old. It was created in 2010, and as Jethro said, people have changed their viewing habits quite a bit. They don't like a lot of words, and we have a lot of text. And he said they like buttons, and we have the old style left-hand column. That is just drudgery for a lot of people, particularly if you have your iPhone, because it doesn't show up oftentimes on your iPhone, and it comes into a different thing. So, so we talked about a proposal for having to slowly revamp the website while he's still maintaining it. And so as I shared, he's looking at, in his calculation, it'd be about, it'd be equal to about $800 worth of his time to do a significant upgrade. In terms of maintenance, he figures that would be an hour a month.
And he's giving us a discount at that, right?
Yeah, and he's already put in quite a bit of
Pre-done.
pro bono stuff. So, and we did budget $1,000. We've already spent 363, so we're down to about 7 something. And so I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Jethro going ahead and redesigning the website for the $800.
Plus the monthly fee.
Yeah, that's, let's see. Yeah, plus his monthly,
Wasn't it like $80 a month or something like that?
yeah, that'd be about another $80. Yeah,
I move that we hire Jeffro to upgrade the website for the 800 and for the $80 for a monthly fee to maintain it.
okay.
ASAP.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and seconded discussion. Question?
Question, is this rebuilding of the website? Can't we use ARPA for
We've already budgeted for this.
Yeah.
So
it? I know.
this
but
is,
then
it's really
there's-
tempting, it's really tempting to go, let's just use ARPA. That's the problem
No,
we're
because that
facing.
would leave money left over in case something else comes up. is what I'm saying.
Well, we can always use ARPA at that point.
Okay.
One thing that this is the thing that I keep having to try to realign myself about is, they keep saying, don't be a big yank to try to, to spend this money. We've got to about 2026,
25.
25 to
Okay.
spend this money. So, for a bigger project, yeah, I'd say we should consider it, but for $1,000 that we already have budgeted, I think we should.
And as
just
we
do
should
that.
have, but we have budgeted like $400 in the past. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So we have to own up to the fact that if we're gonna be interacting and connecting to our community, we better have it accessible. So. All right, without further discussion, all those in favor of the motion to enlist Jethro to rebuild our website, the $800 plus the $80 a month maintenance, signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion passes. Put on. Signs, website, adding agenda items. We did that. Hey,
Yeah.
All done?
all we have left is signing of orders. Okay,
Dave, can you talk about the compactor?
Oh, no,
the what?
the compactor, that,
That compacts the dirt?
right. We're gonna need one when we do all our road cuts and put culverts in for Chalet,
Right, right.
which is coming up this summer. He's got,
I personally think it would be done to just rent one. I think we could use it for all culverts. I think it come really handy. I priced 4 different companies. And we went to this municipal road show Tuesday, yes, let's see. Yesterday.
yeah,
And I talked to 3 different vendors there. The same model, I got 2 different prices, with a difference of $450. There is money in the purchase of equipment repairs fund. That's like the last update I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, you mentioned renting, you had mentioned renting and buying, but
I wouldn't rent one.
you wouldn't rent one, okay.
Just for the fact that, if we have a culvert for that day, I think it's gonna be more of a hassle to run up to Newport, which is the closest place to run.
Yeah.
Whereas I think we could do one quite a bit.
So how much we talking about?
$1,800 is the cheapest I can find, and the guy has one left. Most expensive one I found is $26.50.
And how much do we have in this repair and,
Last I checked, we spent $1,200. We budgeted $400.
so there's-
do you anticipate any other expenditures around equipment? Can you, what about your crystal ball?
Yeah,
Let me check your crystal ball.
If you say no, we're gonna have a disaster.
yeah. I mean, I guess the way I would look at it is, you got,
We got
You
the
got a
fees,
truck,
we
you
got the
get-
fees coming in. Right, I'm sorry.
yeah,
It just hit me that we are gonna be charging a fee to compact.
no, we're looking for, well, a deposit for a road cut, but
So,
this is more for.
We're not, the town's not gonna net anything to offset the
Not
time.
unless they don't do it. If somebody gives us a deposit and doesn't bring it back, and then we have to go dig it up, compact it, and do it, then we would net that $500.
That was one of my other arguments is we have this road policy in place with a stipulation you have to compact and we don't compact our own.
Right.
Whereas I've been wanting to.
So you're saying aside from the ditch rebuilding, that we should probably have a compact?
Well, look at all those culverts on Shadow Lake was what, how many is there?
We've got,
We haven't got them yet, but we
I think
ordered.
we've got 10 that we plan on doing.
So if you had
Aren't they
to,
aren't they a lot of work?
yeah, yeah.
If you really want something that you have to work that hard at?
But the thing is, we're not gonna have like, well, perfect example, drive Shadow Lake now. You still got all those friggin', you know, with that compactor. you can
Well,
avoid that.
yeah, that's where the compact will make. bumps well.
You know, you get a man, you get a truck, and you drive, make 2 trips to Newport, and then you rent. What's a daily rental on one of those things?
It's not a whole lot, it's $40 maybe. And we could go that route and just rent it for a month at a time or whatever. It's just, you know. We have a cola, we gotta change right away, and then we gotta, you know, take the hour and a half it does to go up to Newport, bring that.
Well, the
fuel.
question is the frequency of usage. And
I think we would use it quite a bit, especially on just Shadow Lake, I think we would use it quite a bit.
and that would be, but that's not on the pavement, right?
Mhm. We're gonna
You
have
would
to
use a
cut,
compactor on a pavement?
no, but we're gonna have to make cuts on,
Yes.
because we agreed
We would
For the
also-
culverts?
with the culverts.
Okay.
We
We're
would
gonna
also
have,
use that compactor when we patch the pavement as well.
yeah,
Are you gonna do cuts on the pavement?
Yes, I believe we have.
So that bugs me when I don't know what town it was, it might have been Barton, but they had major potholes, they put asphalt in, but it didn't get compacted. I think they thought cars would do it,
yeah,
but it got scattered around.
usually at the bottom of your car.
Yeah.
So so we do have money right now in the budget. Is this something we should move on?
Well,
Well, they got
that
one.
price on that compactor, the guy messaged me this afternoon, it's the last one he has. The other company can't get one for another 6 months,
Well, I guess
and
not.
that's the best I can get one.
And this is time sensitive, right? Well, should we make, someone want to move that we purchase? So you said you have a firm price?
$1,800.
Do we have a motion to approve the purchase of a compactor for $1,800?
I would move such, so. I would move we purchase a compactor from whoever it is for $1,800.
Sunbelt Rentals used to ask this.
So,
It's called Sunbelt Rentals, but they sell
Yeah.
it. It's not used, right?
No.
Okay, we have a motion. Second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of purchasing the compactor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carries. There you go, happy birthday.
I told Cindy, I'm gonna be over budget on everything else, it's one more thing.
yeah, I know. That's,
I
yeah,
don't even want to see the end result on the fuel.
the field bill, you know.
Okay,
That's the big one.
did you give Dave the minutes to sign?
Yeah.
I did, yeah, I got it.
And Cindy, we haven't heard from the solar company that Jack was working with. There's been no movement around this contract.
You are correct with that conclusion.
What the hell's going on with that anyway?
Thank you for all your hard work. I'll sign off.
Okay, Jen, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna, Dave, I am